Unsung Murder Ballads discusses topics of a disturbing nature.
And we're not going to hold back on the graphic details and disturbing content.
So we do not recommend our podcast for children under the age of 13.
And while we respect the victims and their families involved in these tragic cases,
we're also going to be critical of mistakes that are made during the investigations.
And we're going to use dark humor to express ourselves now and then.
So with that said, this podcast may not be for everyone.
And that's okay. We're glad you're here checking us out.
And if you've made it this far, welcome to the Unsung Murder Ballads family. And follow us on Instagram at Unsung Murder Ballads if you want to talk to us.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Unsung Murder Ballads. This is episode 140. I am Janus Dead.
I'm Jameson Dead.
And I'm Joyous Dead.
All right, so now that I actually know what the episode numbers are.
You're doing so great.
I know, right? So we're just going to give everyone a heads up. Next episode, assuming nothing happens and we're all here, is our next For Joyous's information episode. So,
woohoo!
Yeah, we try to do these every 10 episodes or so that'll be next week, so that'll be fun. Yeah.
Hell yeah. What are we educating me on this time?
Do you want me to tell you now, or do you want to wait until next week and have you take a full-blown guess? Your call.
Can we get like a tiny mini spoiler so that maybe the audience can guess what it is, but I won't?
All right, I'll start with at least 3 major horror movies have been based on this person's life.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
I do love horror movies.
So yeah, at least 3 have been based on this individual's life. 3 famous ones. I'm not even talking obscure ones.
Although, no, tell us what you think it is in the comments.
At this point now, every true crimer should know, but...
Now I'm like, okay, which of these horror movies that I've watched are actually based on true stories? Because I never know.
Well, some of them don't list him as the inspiration.
Gotcha.
Like,
okay, but like is.
Yeah, there are 2 of the 3 that don't list him at all. It's not like, so one of them clearly says based on true events. And that is the one where they are basing it off of him for the most part. They take extreme...
Can I get a decade on that movie?
That one, the 1970s.
Oh, okay. Oh. You got me stumped. Ooh, but this was a fun spoiler.
I guess the question is, Jameson, do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so.
Nice.
All right, anyway. Let's dive in. We're going to start this week's episode. And yeah, we'll start with the teaser and we'll work our way in. Just get ready. This is a bumpy one. So buckle up.
All right, I'm buckled.
So working at a 24-hour retail location can expose the employees of these places to some pretty strange experiences. In some states, when you work these shifts, you're paid a little more because of that, because it's an overnight. It's almost like...
and it's never worth it.
No, it's almost like hazard pay, but not really.
Emotional hazard pay, yeah. If you want me to stay up all night.
Exactly. You gotta pay me something. I need sleep.
For real.
So one young woman working the overnight at a Walgreens near Youngstown, Ohio, had a very strange encounter. In the early morning hours, a customer came in and he needed help buying and putting on some makeup.
Okay.
The female employee walked over, and a man told her that he had a jury thing to go to in the morning, and that particular night he had taken out his trash, and something inside his trash had exploded, which is why his face was burned, and he needed the makeup to cover the burns.
Oh, okay. Dear.
Well, we all know that's horseshit.
Right?
Also, you ain't covering shit with makeup, not if you're burned.
Well, he said that realistically, he just didn't want to freak out the other jurors.
Okay, fair enough.
So after they had picked out a foundation for him, the man then wanted something for his eyebrows because they had been burned off. So the Walgreens employees recalled that the man kind of seemed off, but she brought him over and helped him pick out an eyebrow pencil in which she drew some eyebrows on him. She said this man was dressed in a suit, but wore a baseball cap pulled low over his face. She said that he was about 5'8" or 5'9". He was husky and bald and a white male between 30 to 40 years old. Now, after this man left, it's pretty obvious that this was not something she was ever likely to forget. Especially,
it's a pretty unique experience.
Right? I mean, you're not going to forget that anytime soon. And it sets the stage for just how fucking weird and bizarre and tragic this case is. So this is the case of Corrine Gump, as well as Bill and Judy Schmidt. Now, before we begin, just a quick trigger warning, because, we don't really give the trigger warnings for the murders, but this episode does involve the sexual abuse of a child. So I know it sucks, but a lot of these cases unfortunately have that. So we apologize, and if this isn't the episode for you, we understand. But this case is fucked up. And I gotta say, any true crime fan that doesn't know this, you really should try to go through it, because this is crazy.
Shit. All right, well, I'm buckling in again.
A second belt.
Yeah, I need double safety now.
It's like the harness on a roller coaster. You got the seat belt, but then the shoulder harness.
4-point harness, yeah.
All right. So about 75 miles south of Cleveland, Ohio, is the city of Youngstown. It's a quiet residential city, and this particular event takes place on a street called Powers Way. Now, most days, this is a normal street in any suburban area. It's a typical middle-class neighborhood, picturesque, with a peaceful place where crime isn't really a thing. However, in the early morning hours of March 30th, 2015, at around 3:30 a.m., something jolted the entire neighborhood awake. It shattered the usual calm that is something far from typical for this area. A massive explosion ripped through the night, shaking the entire neighborhood.
Okay, it sounds like more than a trash explosion.
The residents of Powers Way sprang up from their bed and quickly realized that a nearby 2-story house was completely engulfed in flames.
Shit.
The fire raged out of control, and onlookers quickly understood the grim reality.
That's arson.
Yeah, the chances of anyone surviving this blaze, if there's somebody inside, were pretty much zero. If you saw yeah, it's crazy. So phone calls flooded the 911 dispatch center, and it was a long way before dispatchers learned the details of what happened to the people that owned this home. They both had a disability. The house that was on fire, the people who owned it were both deaf. And for the neighbors that knew them, what they were witnessing was unimaginable and heartbreaking.
Oh, yeah, you're deaf. You don't hear the fire alarm. Although, if it's an explosion, you can't save yourself anyway.
Yeah, you wouldn't have much time, yeah. When firefighters arrived on the scene, they, of course, immediately began fighting the fire. And soon after, several police officers arrived as well, and they began to work on identifying these homeowners. They started by running the license plates of the cars in the driveway, which makes sense. And they confirmed that the home belonged to 63-year-old Bill Schmidt and his wife, 60-year-old Judy. They had married in 1974, and by all accounts, they had a loving marriage. Bill and Judy were what some called a perfect match, and nobody ever doubted that they would still be together until their deaths.
Aww.
Which, spoiler alert, this is their deaths.
Yeah, unfortunately, quicker than what they were wanting.
So despite them both being deaf, they had led full and active lives. Bill was an outdoorsman who spent time hunting and fishing. He also enjoyed road trips on his Harley Davidson, and people locally called him the Grill Master.
Aww.
When Bill fired up his barbecue pit, anyone lucky enough to be in that area knew they were going to have one incredible meal.
Oh, what a guy.
As for Judy, she was the typical quilt maker who loved board games. She was especially social and had a wide circle of friends. She was known for her warmth, and she had a maternal touch that led many, young and old, to consider her like their second mother.
Aww.
Now, with the homeowners identified, police began to run a background check on the address because they were, were there any reports of anything at the property that might be red flags? And as it turned out, there had been a few.
Oh, shit.
The most recent one was the previous February, and it was them calling in that their 31-year-old daughter had been missing since September, the previous September.
Oh, shit.
Holy crap.
And before that, the other call before that was from that September of 2014. And it was about that same daughter menacing her parents.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So Bill and Judy had 3 children. 2 of them were deaf also, which I don't know what the statistical odds of that are, but I would presume if it's genetic in some way, pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
So their 3rd child was 31-year-old Lynn Schmidt, and she was not deaf. And this is the one that report had been about, the one that was harassing them for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
So she had apparently been harassing them for a few months before she disappeared, prompting Bill and Judy to report her missing. So as police were gathering this information, firefighters were pressing on, working on putting out this fire. As they made their way through the home, the completely burned out home, they uncovered something that brought an Ohio prosecutor into the investigation. Now in 2015, Dawn Mesa was the chief trial counsel for the Mahoning County Prosecutor's Office. And while attempting to put out the fire, she's brought in and she's looking around, the firefighters discovered the bodies of the 2 adults in the home. So they did find the bodies of Bill and Judy Schmidt at this point. They were found dead in their bedroom.
Aww.
So as you said earlier, they never even had a chance. Because I'm assuming that deaf people must have a difference. Maybe their beds vibrate or something if there's a fire.
Usually like a light flash or
Yeah,
those type of things.
There's got to be something.
So all the firefighters that entered the building described the smell of gasoline as soon as they entered. And they knew right away it was arson. And then out the back door, tucked around, somewhere in the backyard, they spotted 2 cans of gasoline. Now, one of the cans of gasoline even had a glove stuck into the neck of it, like where you'd carry it.
Crud.
So whoever did this isn't so bright.
Yeah, they're not really like an experienced arsonist, probably.
No, one would assume not. This person had clearly soaked the inside of the house, drenching the walls and floors with gas, while Bill and Judy were sleeping, and had then gone outside and put those cans down.
That's really fucked up.
Really fucked up. Early on in the investigation, detectives found themselves with 2 solid leads. There was the strange man buying makeup at Walgreens and the mysterious absence of Bill and Judy's daughter, Lynn. Now, eventually, their investigation led them to a 10-year-old girl.
Oh my God.
Now, this 10-year-old girl is named Corrine Gump. Now, Corrine was born on January 31st, 2005. At the time of that fire, she was 10 years old and in the 3rd grade at South Range Elementary. And her favorite school subject was reading, which is awesome. I don't care. Young kids reading, it's the way it should be.
Always a good thing.
Oh, definitely agree.
Now, Corrine was living with her grandparents, but for much of her life, she had lived with her mother, her younger half-sister, and her mother's boyfriend. Now, obviously, based on my trigger warning from earlier, we're going to have to talk about this scumbag boyfriend.
Ugh.
When Corrine was maybe 4 or 5 years old, she and her mother moved into the home of 46-year-old Robert Andrew Seaman Jr., as her mother had started dating him.
Hate it.
Now, Seaman also went by the nickname of Junior, and I only bring that up so that I don't have to alter the testimony that I'm going to be discussing that Corrine gave police in a little bit. Now, Seaman earned a steady income by working on an assembly line at the General Motors factory. According to Corrine, Robert didn't keep his hands or any other body part to himself.
Oh, gross.
Now, at 9 years old, Corrine reported this to the police, like what he was doing to her. And
wow, that's really brave.
It's crazy. And well, we're going to get into her testimony in just a little bit, but the fact that these cops could ask this girl the questions they did blows my mind, both in their fortitude and her strength in being able to talk about it, because it's not something I think either of them wanted to have to do.
No. Oh, awful.
So in March of 2014, she sat in a police interview room and used crayons to color on paper as she described how her mother's boyfriend, Robert Seaman Jr., repeatedly sexually assaulted her for years.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, again, this is actual testimony that I'm going to read. I was going to play it, but then I decided I wanted to edit a lot of it out because some of it's repetitive and some of it's just fucking awful.
Mm-hmm.
But keep in mind, this is from a 9-year-old. And yeah. And again, she...
What are the circumstances that she ends up to the police? She just like reported this to like a, I don't know, teacher or something at school and then ended up talking to police about it?
I couldn't find the details of exactly who she spoke to that brought it to the police's attention. I think it was her grandparents, though.
Gotcha.
So, now keep in mind, she knows him as Junior. So they ask her, what is it that happened with Junior? And she says, he raped me.
Oh.
She said, the police then say, all right, so then you said that Junior raped you. What do you mean by that? What did he do? She replied, well, he made me suck his private, and he did it to me.
Mm.
Wow. Oh, God.
They respond with, when he made you suck his private, where did this happen at? And she said, in the living room, in the bedroom, their bedroom, or upstairs in my room.
Oh, God.
Yeah, this is brutal. And then they say, do you remember at what age you were when he did that? And she said 4 or 5.
Oh.
Oh.
At which point they ask, again, this is, I can't imagine being the police having to ask this.
No.
They then said, did he put his penis in your mouth? And she said, mm-hmm.
Mm.
And they said, and what would happen? And she said, he would try to pee in my mouth.
Oh, gross. Oh, awful.
And they asked her, did he pee in your mouth? And she said, 1 time. And then, and they said, and what did he say? She said, to swallow it, but of course I did not.
Oh.
And they asked her, what did you do? And she said, I went and spit it out. And they say, and then what did he say? And she said that he told her she was supposed to swallow it, not spit it out.
Oh my God.
They asked her how many times would you say this happened? And she said a lot of times. So according to Corrine, this happened countless times throughout the years, and things only escalated. Her interview continued, her telling them that he would climb on top of me and kiss me. And they asked, where would he kiss you at? And she said, the lips. And then they asked, would he ask you to pull your pants down? And she said, yeah. And then they asked, and then what would he say? What would he do next? And she said, try to, like my private. Like, very obviously very uncomfortable with this question.
Oh.
And then they asked, did he ever put his penis on your Lulu? And she said, yes.
Oh my God.
And they asked, did he ever put his penis, in your butt? And she said,
oh my God.
And she said 1 time.
No.
Yeah. So that'll end that part because that's fucking awful. I feel dirty just having repeated it.
Yeah. Oh my good God.
Please tell me that man's fucking brutally dead. Is that a spoiler?
We will get there. I'm not saying anything about the ending of this episode, but I am going to tell you you're going to be really pissed at different parts. So yeah.
Because if he's still alive, I'm going to go kill him.
So if you have a stress ball, now would be the time. I'm just going to tell you.
Oh, I'm stress crocheting so hard right now. You have no idea.
So Corrine claimed that between the ages of 4 and 9, Seaman had repeatedly sexually assaulted her. As it so often happens in these situations, there is no evidence to confirm or back up her accusations. However, detectives and prosecutors believed her, and how could they not?
A child of that age shouldn't know about those kinds of things, even to make them up.
Exactly. Like, there's no way any 9-year-old, unless they stumbled upon, like, some crazy porn site, isn't even going to think about that
No.
After Corrine disclosed and described the years of abuse that she had endured, Robert Seaman was arrested and charged with multiple felonies, which included the sexual assault of a minor, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
At his arraignment, Seaman pled not guilty and was given a $100,000 bond.
Oh my God, what?
Within days of the arraignment, prosecutors were shocked to find out that Seaman had managed to post his bond.
How? What the fuck?
I don't know. Fucking crazy.
That's too low of a bond.
For that? Absolutely. I don't think there should have been bond in this case. Again, we go back to this over and over again.
That's a person who should be held. That's a danger to the public.
Exactly. Anything even remotely violent or is sexual in nature that way, there shouldn't be bond. Period. End of story.
No.
As a condition of his bond, he was to be placed on an ankle monitor that was GPS enabled, and he was put on house arrest. He wasn't...
As if that's going to stop him.
Oh, just wait. He couldn't have any contact with the victim or her family. Unsurprisingly, Seaman violated his bond condition soon after his release by having contact with Corrine's mother.
Why is the mother fucking talking to him?
Oh, what's unexpected was he didn't initiate the contact. She reached out to him.
Wait, what?
Corrine's mother was the one who reached out to Seaman.
What?
To say fucking what?
Well, I can't... I don't have all those details because Corrine's mother has been very silent with the public going forward here. But there is a critical detail, in case you forgot, as we walked through the horror of Corrine's abuse. Corrine's mother was Lynn Schmidt, the non-deaf child of Bill and Judy Schmidt. In case you forgot this part. So during the course...
So had she been living with... Were those the grandparents she had been living with?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So during the course of their investigation into Corrine's sexual assaults, the detective working to put Seaman behind bars came upon something truly fucked. They discovered that Lynn, Corrine's mother, was going to testify on Seaman's behalf.
Are you
what the fuck?
Fucking kidding me?
Nope.
It appeared that she was prepared to take the stand and claim that her daughter had lied about everything.
Why? What?
Oh, that's fucking unbearable.
No.
Again, Lynn Schmidt has been completely unavailable to answer questions like this anywhere that I could find. So I don't have the answers.
I wonder why.
But what a fuck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So when detectives questioned Lynn about her ongoing contact with Seaman, her answers were evasive. She claimed that she was scared of him, fearing he might retaliate against her, her parents, or even Corrine, and that staying in touch with him was her way of making sure he stayed in line.
Oh, yeah.
That's what she told police.
I guess there is some plausible deniability that maybe she's like, she feels safer if she knows where he is.
I guess.
But it's obvious that that's not what's fucking going on.
Well, despite warnings to keep away, Lynn ignored the advice. Instead, she went even further. She moved back into Seaman's house, bringing along with her her younger daughter, Ava, who was only 4 at the time.
No! What the fuck?
No.
Yeah. It appeared that Lynn had turned her back on her daughter Corrine in favor of the attention and affection she was getting from Corrine's motherfucking rapist. I have no words.
Nope.
I don't get it.
I'm so enraged.
I don't understand how anyone could go down that path.
No.
That's just like, it's so depraved. It's so beyond just like so many levels of unbelievably awful.
Yeah. I don't, there's nothing in the world anyone on the planet could offer you to make that right. I don't understand what she's getting out of it.
No, I don't get it. And it's truly, I like to think that most people are inherently good, but this is like, sometimes there are just those counterexamples that it's like, there is just no explanation for that level of horror.
Yeah, it's beyond me. And as I said before, Lynn has never publicly given an answer to why she went back to Seaman.
There's no reason that would make me feel any differently about any of it. It's all just maximum awful.
Yeah, like, she should have been the first in line to kill this fucker, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yep.
But here we are. Now, Lynn and her youngest, who was biologically Robert Seaman's kid, Ava, moved back into that house, and they lived with him. So while Lynn was living with Seaman, their daughter Corrine had moved back in with her grandparents because, he was fucking raping her. Where else was she going to go?
Oh my God.
For a while, everything seemed calm. But then, on the eve of his trial for sexual assault, guess what happens?
House burns down.
He reoffended.
3:40 a.m. Monday, March 30th, an explosion and fire at 3631 Powers Way broke out from the basement and just... Yeah.
Oh my God.
Just hours before Seaman's trial was set to begin, Bill and Judy's house exploded, and the subsequent flame engulfed their homes, killing them. Fire marshals and investigators said that from the evidence, they knew that he went in with those gas cans and went to the landing of their basement stairs, and they believed that he poured gas over the side and down the stairs into the landing. He then must have taken the 2 gas cans outside, set them aside, and then figured he would grab them on his way out. He then went back in, and he flicks a lighter, but what he doesn't fully understand is that while he was gone, those fumes were building up.
Mm-hmm.
And he ignited the fumes in the air. And that's what caused the explosion.
Ah, that tracks. Yep.
And that's how he got the flash burns on his face. The explosion and fire claimed the lives of Bill and Judy Schmidt. But tragically,
Where's the girl?
they weren't the only victims.
Oh.
When firefighters sifted through the ash and rubble, they found the body of a small girl, 10-year-old Corrine Gump.
Oh my God.
Yeah, all 3 had died in that fire. And obviously, Bill and Judy were not the intended targets of this attack, which makes it even worse in some ways.
Oh, most definitely.
Now, before the flames had even fully died out, some of Corrine's family members knew exactly who was responsible.
Oh,
I mean,
that's so heartbreaking.
like, how can you not? So Seaman's trial was scheduled to begin that morning for the sexual assault, and Mahoning County Prosecutor Don Catalamesa was prepared to go forward. Strangely enough, it seemed that Seaman was ready to proceed as well. It was like 8 or 8:30 or 9 in the morning, and he's there ready to go.
That's just nauseating.
As if no one's gonna notice the fucking burns on his face underneath his foundation.
And
It's definitely crusty.
And his
Idiot.
fucking penciled in eyebrows. Oh,
Idiot.
man. But at this point, the judge ordered that the records from his GPS bracelet be faxed to the court so that she could review where his GPS bracelet had gone. Because she was obviously aware of the fucking explosion.
Yep, and obviously aware that, like, the victim in this case is now dead.
Right.
And won't be at the hearing, obviously.
Well, when they reviewed the GPS records from Seaman's ankle monitor, they found no indication that he had visited Bill and Judy's home. Though his tracker did reveal a trip to the headquarters of the company responsible for monitoring this device. Now, that company was called Breaking Point. When Robert arrived at Breaking Point early that morning, he requested that his ankle monitor be tightened.
What?
Like, why would you need this tightened, my dude?
Right, exactly.
That's weird.
Like, maybe you just slip it off? Can't get it back
Yeah,
on
exactly.
properly?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, So anyway, the staff there complied. And for the judge and prosecutors, Seaman's scheme was pretty fucking obvious. He had slipped off
But you just have to prove it.
Right. He had slipped off the monitor, driven to Bill and Judy's house, set the fire, and returned home.
And I'm sure that, like, the timeline for the, getting it tightened fits perfectly with that.
Exactly. Once there, he reattached the ankle monitor and went to Breaking Point to have it adjusted so that any evidence of his tampering would have been removed. He was supposed to be on strict house arrest, permitted only to leave to go to court or to meet with his lawyer. So even that unauthorized trip to the Breaking Point Company was a violation. So the judge revoked his bond. Although way too fucking late in my mind.
Yep.
It always happens where it comes too late.
They never learn. I swear to God.
Nope.
So Seaman was taken into custody, and soon after he was questioned by detectives about the house fire. He obviously denies everything.
Of course.
However, obviously the detectives didn't believe him, but they humored him and kept him talking, asking for details, like where he was and what did he do that morning. When detective asked about the burns on his face and his missing eyebrows, Seaman claimed that the burns weren't from any kind of fire, like he completely abandoned this trash story.
Oh, okay.
Instead, he insisted that he received them after he was taken into custody.
What?
He said they were chemical burns that he sustained in his jail cell.
Fuck?
He was claiming that someone he didn't know and couldn't identify threw something in his face while he was in his cell.
Okay, well, a medical professional can easily tell the difference between those things, so...
Well, the detectives knew he was lying, so they played along, and they offered to, bring him to the hospital and make sure he was okay and confirm that, he was good, that to help put all that to rest, right?
Yeah.
But obviously he wasn't going for it. So as far as evidence went, the burns on Seaman's face were bad enough, but detectives still had a little bit more. They then asked him about buying the makeup at Walgreens. And he said he didn't buy any makeup there. He only went there that night to kill time.
To kill time? At the Walgreens?
While you're on house arrest? Sure, my guy. So the footage there clearly showed Seaman entering the store and purchasing the makeup. And it was evident that the makeup was used to cover his flash burns because it was clear that once they booked him, they had to clean that off of him.
Yep.
So then they asked him if he had ever worn makeup. And he went on this short little rant about how he used it to cover a zit for court that day because he didn't want to be embarrassed by a zit on his face.
And his trial for rape.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Police then asked him about the eyebrow pencil they found, but he didn't have an answer for that. As his lies continued to unravel, detectives knew precisely what he had done that morning. And they knew that his crime had literally blown up in his face. So once he went to jail and all the makeup came off his face, you could see the flash burns there and his singed eyebrows. And in a desperate attempt to divert attention, he hinted to detectives that they should look closer at Corrine's mother, Lynn Schmidt.
Wow.
Now, while it was true that...
yes, they also should.
Yes. So while it was true that Lynn had returned to living with Seaman after the sexual abuse allegations had surfaced, it was also true that she was home that morning with her other daughter, Ava, and on the morning that her parents and Corrine were killed in that fire. Seaman stated that Lynn would receive $500,000 if her parents were dead.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was very clearly trying to misdirect with a motive on her part.
Right.
And the desperation on his part during this interview is so bad, you can almost smell his fear just listening to it.
Oh, fascinating.
That's awesome.
However, his misdirection did open a door a little bit. Lynn certainly appeared to have a motive for wanting her parents dead. And Seaman had no problem throwing her under the bus.
Shock. He's no problem raping her child, so...
Exactly. So regardless, detectives were certain that Robert had started the fire. His burns and his visit to Walgreens for them were proof enough. But they didn't know if Lynn was innocent or not. She could very well have known about Seaman's plans or even helped. She might have provided details about how to get into the house, where to pour the gasoline, and the best time to do it. Now, considering she continued to live with her daughter's abuser, her capabilities seemed disturbing enough, but without hard evidence, it all remains speculation. Now, from the very beginning, investigators suspected that Lynn knew that Robert was going to do something that morning.
Mm-hmm.
After realizing her parents and daughter were dead, police did go to that house to do a wellness check on Lynn. Because obviously, if someone's going to kill the grandparents and the victim, then maybe they hurt Lynn as well.
Right.
So cops
Also probably should just wellness check on the person whose parents and kid just died.
Right.
Yeah.
So when cops went to Seaman's home, they pounded on the front door, but no one came to the door. So they went around back and they were pounding there and still no answer.
Ooh.
So they came around to the front door, and again, after not receiving any answer, they decided to force their way into the house.
Yeah, that makes sense because you might be finding corpses from what they know.
Anyone want to take a guess at what they find?
Just they're hiding these people's names when you're talking about who died. Start of the episode.
Good deductive. Yeah, good detective skills. Well, they found Lynn just sitting there watching TV in the living room as if someone wasn't just pounding on the fucking door.
Crazy, as if her daughter's not dead.
Yep, just sitting there watching TV. And they asked her what she was doing, like, why aren't you at court? And she said she was told not to go into court that day. However, both the state and the defense had subpoenaed her to be there.
Huh.
So,
well, yeah, she didn't say who told her not to go to court.
Yeah, that's true too, I suppose. But as for a potential motive, this none of this looks good.
No, it really doesn't.
And they did confirm that she stood to inherit a significant amount of money. So they tried
money make you do awful things.
So they tried to determine whether there was any evidence that she was linked to the fire and the murders. But unfortunately, there was nothing that could be confirmed that she was involved. And in the end, if she was involved in the murders of her daughter and parents, they couldn't prove it. So as of today, Lynn Schmidt remains a free woman.
Are you fucking serious?
What?
I am very fucking serious.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So Robert Seaman was the only person ever charged with these murders. Seaman maintained
Holy shit.
I told you this was going to anger the fuck out of you.
I can't believe this bitch is free.
Well, just wait. We're not done yet. Robert Seaman was the only person ever charged with these murders, and he maintained his innocence on all charges, claiming that he had a strong chance of beating the sexual assault charge. Corrine's statements were powerful, and she had no reason to lie. I mean, a 10-year-old wouldn't voluntarily lie about something that fucked up.
Right? No.
Right. There's no fucking way.
And if he was innocent, why'd he fucking kill her? So.
Right. So, but Seaman understood the consequences he faced. If convicted, he would likely spend his life in a federal prison where, as a sex offender, he would be in constant danger.
Yeah, he wouldn't take too long.
Now, one simple truth is something we say a lot on this podcast. Robert Seaman should never have been released on bail.
Yep.
Never.
While he was out on bail, his neighbor reported seeing him leave the house multiple times a day at all hours while supposedly being under house arrest.
Oh my God.
Yeah, how is the house arrest system this bad that we're not like immediately... The way it's dramatized in TV is that you're like immediately caught doing this shit. Like an alarm goes off, the police go find you.
Well, you're jumping ahead right here, which is awesome. But these reports were made, and the court should have been alerted immediately, and his bond should have been revoked, but it wasn't. When the judge got the records from this GPS company who had been monitoring him, she was pissed because she saw that he had been leaving the house all the time.
What the fuck?
Apparently, Breaking Point never called the court to tell them he was leaving.
What?
Why?
That's literally their whole
That's the entire point.
job. That's
Yeah.
your company.
Yep, he would go to Taco Bell. He would go to the mall. He would go out to buy a new suit for his trial. But Breaking Point said jack shit.
Oh, fuck. That's their literal, they have one job.
Exactly.
Oh.
I told you were going to be so pissed. Oh my God. Seriously. And I've heard from other cases that there are points where there's like a reasonable, like if you step off your property and it sends a ping, like sometimes these companies will be like, oh, he just stepped off for a little bit, and they'll ignore it because it's still within a certain parameter. So they're saying,
Right.
so they say that sometimes these false alerts will waste police time if they send them, but this is far worse than that. He's literally going
this
to
is clearly
fucking
not.
yeah.
And also, like, we should be being strict. Like,
We're
I don't
not
care if it's a waste of police resources. That's what police resources are fucking for.
right, and we're not talking a drug dealer. We're talking a child rapist.
Literally.
Yeah, way more intense.
So every safeguard that should have protected Corrine Gump failed her. The courts, the lawyers, the GPS monitoring system, and the company that made it, and even Corinne's own mother. All of them are huge disappointments. And in the end, what chance did a 10-year-old girl really have?
You didn't.
None.
So eventually, Robert Seaman was arraigned on murder charges for killing Corrine and her grandparents. And shocker, he pled not guilty. Authorities admitted that they didn't know exactly how Seaman managed to get out of his electronic monitoring ankle bracelet that morning, or how he got back and forth from the Schmidt's home to set the fire that they believed caused his burns. But they did believe that they had more than enough evidence to convince a Portage County jury that Seaman was so desperate to get out of his rape case that he would kill his young victim. You guys want to take any guesses on how you think this trial is going to go?
Oh my God, please tell me he was found guilty.
A hung jury.
Well, just days before his murder trial was set to begin, the judge called prosecutors, the defense, and Robert Seaman himself into the court for a final status hearing. After confirming that everybody was set to go and the trial could start, all parties were leaving the courtroom and heading towards the elevators.
Oh, he's going to kill himself.
The courtroom was on the 4th floor of the courthouse.
Damn it.
Robert Seaman suddenly leapt over the 4th floor railing and fell to his death in the courthouse.
What a fucking coward.
Fuck.
Fucking crazy. Well, here's another kick in the ass, though. Since lawyers can't put a dead man on trial, the prosecutors had no choice but to dismiss the charges against Robert Seaman. So in the eyes of the court, he was never found guilty of anything, and he died an innocent man on paper.
Well, fuck paper.
Nope.
Agreed.
Paper doesn't mean shit.
Agreed, but still, it's fucked up.
It is fucked up.
However, they did find his DNA on the glove that was present with those 2 gas cans in the back door. They had the makeup. They had the makeup and the eyebrow pencil. They had pictures of his burnt face once the makeup had gone away. And the fact that he chose to end his life only underscores his guilt.
Yes.
However, I do want to say that this is a shitty ending to a shitty case, but for me, personally, I would like to punch Lynn Schmidt in the motherfucking face.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there
yeah.
no child endangerment charges against her?
I can't find anything on her. I can't find anything.
Yeah,
She
I
got
mean-
away way too easily.
Agreed. So, and there's her other daughter. And this was 10 years ago at this point, so her other daughter's got to be in her teens now. So hopefully she's made better choices in terms of men in her life.
Hopefully she was taken away.
Hopefully, yeah. But I can't find any more information on her. So yeah, that was the case of Corrine Gump and her grandparents, the Schmidts.
Oh my dear God, what an infuriating case.
That was awful.
Yeah, that was fucked up. This is the one I've been wanting to do for a while, and I lost my notes on, so I had to restart. But yeah, how fucked up is that?
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, we need to find a way to pass a law to keep, at the very least, violent and sexual offenders away from bond.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need to pass a law. Any lawyers that listen, help us out here. How can we begin that process? Seriously.
All of it. The bail and bond system is fucked up, and it hurts both innocent people and actual offenders and victims. It's just so fucked up. It makes it so that there are some crimes that are just fines, depending on like how much wealth you have.
Right.
It's so fucked up.
It's crazy. Absolutely fucking nuts. This case should never have happened. He shouldn't have been let out, and he should never have been allowed to hurt anyone after that initial sentence or indictment. It's fucking crazy.
Exactly.
This poor girl is dead. Her grandparents are dead because they fucked up. And 100 grand may sound like a lot, but I think you only have to give 10% to a bonds company. I think that's how it works.
That's insane.
But it's still, I mean, maybe they didn't think he could scrape together 10 grand, but here we are. I don't know. Fucking crazy.
Fuck this.
On that downer note, thank you everybody for joining us. We will see you once again soon. I am Janus Dead.
I'm Jameson Dead.
And I'm Joyous Dead.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.